Well, hello there, and welcome to issue number 77, and this issue concerns the Virgo rabbit. And as you can see prior to the video, all the dates that you need to know to check to see if you are this Eastern and Western star sign combination. Well, so what we've got here in the mix is we've got the Virgo, a very organised, pristine even, fantastic socially, the real go-betweens, amalgamating projects. They're really great behind the scenes, always do a lot behind them. With the rabbit, now the rabbit, a little bit of a dreamer, comes together with, gets cashed together very well, and can be a little bit of a fantasist in some ways. And so when you get the two joining together, you have a Virgo that is a little bit looser than the other Virgos, in the sense of they like cast iron dreams, Virgos. They like practicalities. It's got to be logically worked out. Now, with the rabbit in the mix, in this combination, it gives them a little bit more lateral thinking and a little bit more, shall we say, riskier, and the latitude for sort of a bit more fantastical thinking. And you'll notice this early as a child, you know, going into preschool, etc. Fantastically chatty. You know, they love to talk. They love to be around their mates. Sometimes they talk a bit too much for the teachers' liking. But then again, they always do come up with some decent questions when they're put on the spot. You know, there is, you know, normally a reason why they are talking. So they are, you know, picked out a little bit in the classroom as being a bit of a chatterbox, and not a ringleader, but just a bit of a chatterbox that gets everyone a little bit excited and gets discussions going. But they're very good. If you want open discussions in the classroom as we're moving from forward into the secondary schools and that sort of thing, where there's a lot more intake of you know, discussions on certain things like science, etc. They're great to get your conversation started. They're also really quite good in peer groups, when you sort of like, maybe you've got you have like a lawyer situation where you've got a prosecution and defence. They're really quite good in that, and throwing ideas about. So they're very useful in that aspect. Okay, they can chat a little bit. They enjoy their fashion. The boys and the girls, they enjoy their fashion, so they could be talking about the latest this, that and the other, and they can be quite one for wanting to get hold of it quite quickly, and they can be quite advanced in that area, saying, no, you know, this is what I'm getting. They know how to play their mum and dads as well to get what they want. So you know, they're quite a forerunner in this for the fashion, etc., and the latest music at the time. You know, they will like successful bands. They're not going to really like your alternative groups. They're going to like your ones that, you know, look as though, yeah, that's polished, that's good sound, etc. So that's what they'll be looking for. So as we take them through, we go into the university years, and they'll be very capable in the universities. You know, there'll be a little bit of, you know, very good at studies in the sense of they can go around each other's houses, and what they're not so strong at, they will glean the information and they will swap information. So there's a very good communication here with this combination. So they don't have problems about making friends and getting what they need studying wise. You know, and they do, as I say, they get along very, very well. And now let's come to the logical part, which we've said about Virgos. You know, the meticulous planners, say, like with the finances, and maybe you know, what they're going to be doing month to month. They like to be quite reassured. Now, when the rabbit's in the mix in that, you know, there's a leeway for them to go maybe on an unexpected trip, or being a bit loose with money. You know, maybe going slightly on a gambling spree, or a night at the casino, etc. And ad hoc sort of, let's get together and go for a drink, or a decent night out. So they're not so rigid, shall we say, in their planning as a lot of other Virgos are, which, you know, I think Virgos are fantastic. You get them organised and anything around the firm, you know, it's going to run like clockwork. You know, they're so important in them areas. But as I say, with the rabbit in there, you can add in that little bit of unpredictability, which, you know, it makes them a little bit, not saying they're not exciting, because, you know, but it makes them a little bit more, you know, not as easy to read. Therefore, they can surprise their partners to be a little bit, and they can also surprise their work colleagues a little bit. You know, with you know, they can roll in one morning, they can say, well, what you been on last night? You know, that sort of thing. Whereas normally your Virgos will be bang on time, pristine, nothing out of place. They know exactly what they're going to do that day. Well, there's a little bit of a difference there, so you have to keep an eye on that. But, you know, they bring some fantastic qualities with them, so it's best not to change them. If we look at, you know, what they're going to progress into, well, I think communication is they're wonderful at. I would have them running restaurants, you know, being the front of house on restaurants. I'd also have them, you know, the go-betweens, making the meetings, serving the hierarchy more than being the hierarchy, because there probably isn't that that strength and determination as much as some others that I can find that will get them to the top. I'm not saying they're not capable by any stretch, but they'll probably be very content about, you know, organising the meetings, making sure all the food's there on time, making sure the flights are booked, making sure, you know, that will please them more, so they can have their switch off time. You know, once they've done their bit, they can have their switch off time, because they need that, Virgo, they need that very much, and so does the rabbit, you know, and they need to go home to, you know, they need to go home and relax, which they find, you know, very easy. They need to go home and have that free time and that relaxing time, and they love their family as well, so maybe, you know, the responsibilities of high-flying this wouldn't really, wouldn't really respond in the long run, I don't think at all. So if we look at the best combinations for the Virgo rabbits, well, we have to look at the pigs and the pig years, and you know, we've spoken also in the past about the rabbits, okay, being a little bit lukewarm when it comes to being a bit hot-blooded sexually, very, very caring, a little bit of a fuss pot, and they know best, but they're quite shy, and they are quite, how can we put it, they're not so overly showing of their love and their affection when it comes between the sheets, so the pig will warm them up, and they'll warm them up brilliantly, because they will put in the energy and the passion to cater for both of them, and it'll bring the rabbit out of its shell. The Virgo really does enjoy being tactile, so it will really open that avenue up, and, you know, and there will be a nice relaxing times, you know, in a positive sexual sense as well when they meet with the pig. So let's look for the Scorpio pig, the Capricorn pig, the Taurian pig, and the Cancerian pig. All very, very good matches, plus it will give you a really nice feeling around the house. Everything will be cosy, it will be warm, and there will be a secureness you get from the pig that you'll just really, really will respond to, and it will be one worry off of your plate. Also, let's look at the goats, because the goats, they are romantics, they like a bit of fantasy, but they are very selective as well, and the Virgo rabbit will respond really well to this, and we will see, you know, a real quite, a really beautiful romantic bond blending, not massively hot-blooded, although the goat really does like their passions, but then again we've got someone who's gentle and will give the time to the rabbit to unravel themselves. You know, you're not going to rush this sign into being hot and passionate, because that's not going to happen, but with the time and the care, they really will flourish. So we've got to look for the Scorpio goats, we've got to look for Capricorn, Taurus and Cancerian goats. All of those would be fantastic matches for this character. The ones to avoid, well, as I've said in the past, and this is no different, all roosters. Roosters are seen by you as being a bit too tough and a bit hard around the edges, you know. They're an acquired taste rooster, and although there's a possibility to be making good friends, I really would not advise any deeper relationship than that, because they really will unsettle the rabbit and the Virgo equally, to the point of, you know, really making them completely anxious. And the rabbit will not respond to the roosters, you know, sometimes not aggressiveness, but their brash way of using words sometimes, and the rabbit will feel as though they're being picked on, so it's not good. So if we leave that well alone, that will be very good for both signs. If we do look at the Virgo rabbit as a parent, well, they're a wonderful parent, just equally as they are a fantastic child. They're very giving as a child, they're very supportive, you can talk to them anytime, and that's what the parents find that they really love about this, you know, love about their child. On top of everything else, they know they can talk to them about a problem, whether it's a sensitive issue, anything, they can talk to them, and they're very grown up in that sense. And also, likewise, when they are the parent, they're very nurturing. Sometimes they can be a little bit, they know best too much for the child's liking, and there may be some rebellious arguments there where, you know, the Virgo rabbit can seem a little bit too claustrophobic, but kids, you know, lap this up, because, you know, you won't find many more caring parents than this. Is a great combination for that. So just let them have their, you know, their say, and you say, okay mum, okay dad, but, you know, it will be a great bond. So they're only looking out for you in, you know, maybe a claustrophobic way, but, you know, they've picked up enough knowledge to be of a great parent. Well, thank you very much for listening in, and please tune in for my next issue. Thanks very much.